I had the pleasure of sitting down with J.P. Errico, the author of the new book, The Vagus Immune Connection. The subtitle says it all. Harness your vagus nerve to manage stress, prevent immune dysregulation, and avoid chronic disease. JP is an engineer and patent attorney who is one of the founders of Electrocore, the company that's pioneered the science and technology of non-invasive transcervical vagus nerve stimulation. I asked him a few questions about his new work. The book focuses on the connection between the vagus nerve and immunity. Can you explore this more deeply for us?
Kevin Tracy in 1999, through a series of experiments that were done at the Feinstein Institute, demonstrated that there's a reflex where the immune system can be regulated by the autonomic nervous system. And specifically, when you stimulate the vagus nerve, it has the ability to downregulate inflammatory signaling across innate immune cells and other cells as well. So that's how the immune system and the autonomic nervous system are connected.
What are the immune benefits of vagus nerve stimulation?
Human beings have a tendency to cling to that state of stress, especially in the modern world. And so being able to regain that ability or move fluidly back into a parasympathetic state is important. And that's what vagus nerve stimulation and other vagus activating exercises allow us to do, to regain that resilience in our autonomic nervous system, which then translates into a better metabolism and a better immune system.
What is the connection between the vagus nerve and metabolism?
So to best explain this, we have to step back and talk about how the cholinergic anti-inflammatory pathway works. And that's the way that the immune system is regulated by the autonomic nervous system. And this is what was discovered by Kevin Tracy, which is that when you stimulate the vagus nerve, you cause the release of a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. Now, in the central nervous system, that's a direct neuronal release of acetylcholine. But in the periphery, it's actually mediated through some adaptive immune cells called chat cells. They're activated by the vagus nerve, and then they release acetylcholine in the bloodstream and then in various different areas of the body where the vagus nerve doesn't necessarily touch but still can have this effect. That release of acetylcholine binds to a receptor that's expressed on these immune cells, like macrophages, called the alpha-7 nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. So when the vagus nerve releases this acetylcholine or causes this acetylcholine to be released, it binds to that receptor and downregulates the inflammatory posture of the immune cells. How does that relate to the metabolism of a human being or any living creature that has mitochondria? So it turns out that mitochondria, which are the power plants of your cells, have on them that same receptor, which is pretty fascinating to think that what is normally considered an extracellular receptor sitting on the surface of the cell, used to regulate the cell itself, is that same receptor is also located on the mitochondria within the cell. And so when acetylcholine is present, again by the release from the vagus nerve or through these chat cells, you see a change in the state of the mitochondria. And that is the core of metabolism.
What should people know about your book and why should they read it?
So the vagus nerve is gaining a lot of attention nowadays. And I think there's a lot of books out there that talk about the clinical aspects of vagus nerve stimulation, where you could use it. You can use it to treat headaches, you can use it to treat depression, you can use it to treat stress, you can use it to treat digestive problems and rheumatoid arthritis. So there's many different places where this is effective. And that's always struck me as something that was a little bit strange, to find a therapy that could have such pleiotropic effects. So I wanted to understand and explain the science behind it, why it is that something that seems so simple could have such profound effects. And so in this book, I go into the scientific underpinnings, not in such a great detail that a person who is not steeped in biochemistry can understand it, but with enough detail that it gives an explanation to people as to why this will work and help to give clinicians an intuition as to where even new places where this technology could be used.
You'll find The Vagus Immune Connection an easy yet comprehensive read. The 248 references direct you to more specifics from the scientific literature.